Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christiana Faith and we are reviewing Love is Blind season 7, starting with episode 7. Episode 7 to me was really a doozy. There were only like a few main parts that I want to talk about, but the episode starts with them on vacation together. Hannah admits that she can be a little bit more nicer to Nikki D, and I'm like, girl, I'm glad you came to your own conclusion, because Hannah so far is giving mean girl. She is low-key always bullying and picking on Nick, and I just want to see how that's gonna play out, because don't nobody want to deal with that, let alone a man in a relationship. And just from like seeing how Hannah talks about herself, she just seems like she thinks she's the ish and she's low-key better than him, and that's why she feels like she can down talk him a lot. And I don't like that, because once again, girl, you knew who this man was in the pods. Unless you got a different version than we did, you knew who he was. Like, be for real. Tim and Alex are still together. He says that he's willing to work on the relationship despite the disagreement that they had in episode 6 that they still don't want to tell us about. I hope Nick and Vanessa makes them talk about it at the reunion, because y'all not going to keep mentioning this and then not saying anything about it. Like, come on. And if you saw my last video about Tyler and Ashley, if you heard the tea about Tyler already, then you're just gonna be watching these next few episodes just like in shock and disgust maybe, and just be like, wow. So I already heard about the tea before watching these new sets of episodes, so I'm just really shocked. I'm like over analyzing all of their conversations, and Ashley mentioned that she doesn't feel like she'll meet another man like Tim, and I'm like, girl, I hope not, because this man is low-key diabolical, allegedly. And now all of the couples are moving in together, and this is my favorite part of the show, because this is when we really get to see how they really are as a person, how clean they are, how dirty they are. Like, you get to see all of their personalities, traits, and quirks pop out. Once again, I don't know what is up with this season with the girls, but they're giving mean. Monica is having this conversation with Stefan, and she's basically like, you know, you told me you were gonna do all these things in the pods and you didn't. You told me you was gonna buy me flowers and you haven't bought me flowers yet. And I'm just like, girl, didn't y'all just get back from Mexico? Like, did y'all not just touch down? Like, give him some time to maybe get you the flowers. But Monica's like, no, you need to get me the flowers right now. Monica seems very straightforward, very direct, very dominant. Like, she gives that type of energy in a relationship, whereas Stefan just seems very like passive, like he'll just do whatever she wants. So I just don't know how that's gonna work with these two, or maybe it can work. Maybe Stefan likes a woman like that, but so far Monica is giving like, you better do what she says and do it now. And then while they were also having this conversation, Stefan mentions that he's not sure about marriage, or he was just like a little bit confused or something like that. I'm like, where did that come from? Like, it came out of nowhere. So now Monica is looking at him like, wait, you've never mentioned this before. Where is this coming from? And of course, she's trying to press him about the situation. So she's like, huh? What do you mean? Why don't you say that? Is this how you felt in the past? Is this how you feel now? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And he's stumbling all over his words, child. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cringe to watch. It's just giving Hannah and Nikki D, like, just the constant bullying and like bashing. I'm like, can the man get a word in? But I don't think they're gonna last, y'all. What do you think about Monica and Stefan so far?
Hey guys, this is me while I'm editing. I forgot to mention a part while I was filming about that awkward conversation that Steven had with Monica and Taylor about how once they get out of the pods and out of like the experiment into the real world, how women are gonna be like DMing them and they're gonna wanna be like basically sucking their peen. Monica and Taylor were just looking at Steven like, why would you say that? And when he said that, I was like, are you priming her for you about to cheat? Like, and if you guys don't remember, in the pods, Steven did, oh, that's the camera. In the pods, Steven did mention that he cheated on one of his exes in the past. I forgot how he said he did it or whatever the case may be, something like with text or whatever. And I'm just like, Monica, so you know this man is a cheater. It just seems like he's getting you ready for the moment when he's gonna do something dirty, and this was his moment to like drop it and make it look like a ha 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 moment, like, yeah, I'm just joking. Because I'm like, how did we go from, oh, you didn't come with me to the fireworks, to, you know, oh, well, women are gonna be fawning all over me. This relationship is very, very weird. Monica is definitely giving like harsh and mean girl, but Steven is so strange. Like, there's just something about Steven that just don't sit right with my spirit. It was as soon as he said his daddy was 3/5 black, I did not like him. And I don't know, the more I see him on screen, I'm just like, something about him ain't sitting right, okay?
So now the couples are starting to meet the parents, and Taylor is the first to meet her partner's parents, and she meets Garrett's parents. Of course, everything kind of went well. I feel like everything is just smooth sailing for Taylor and Garrett. So far, they're the only couple that's giving. They're gonna make it to the altar and possibly say yes. I just know that Garrett is really busy, and he mentioned that in the pod, so I'm just hoping he's able to make time for her outside of the experiment. But other than that, I don't really have much to say about Taylor and Garrett so far. Now, the next big thing that I wanted to talk about that happened in episode 7 was about Marissa and this military child. So if you watch my previous video, you know that I mentioned that Marissa kind of gives like super free, go with the flow, with the wind type of girl. Like, she mentioned how she dated a super liberal and a super conservative, and like she only dates people for who they are, but her views from what I'm seeing on the show are very conservative. So I said that I don't know how that's gonna work in a long-term relationship, because your politics and those type of things, they bleed into your personality traits and your morals, correct? For Marissa, it doesn't seem like that anymore, and this really came up during a conversation during dinner with her and Ramses. She was talking about her service in the military, and Ramses is basically just like, he doesn't like the military. He's very hardcore on his stance with what he thinks about the military. And for Marissa, she is always talking about now how she doesn't like the military anymore. She doesn't align with those views anymore. But at the same time, she still talks about potentially going to join the Army Reserves. And she's like, oh, like, will that be a deal breaker for you? And Ramses is like, well, yeah, because we wouldn't align morally. And then she was like, oh, well, I feel like if you knew me 2 years ago, when I guess when she was still in the military, you wouldn't date me. And Ramses was like, well, no, I would not date you, because once again, we would not align morally. I want to be with someone that believes in the same thing that I do. And for me, I just feel like Marissa doesn't understand that, like, one, it's normal, it's healthy for you to be with a partner that aligns with your morals and what you believe in, because to not agree on like such big things, it can kind of clash, you know, unless you both agree that like you don't care about anything, then sure, maybe it can work. But I want to say for Marissa, clearly it didn't work in the past, because this is something that she was doing. So now that she's with Ramses, who is like 100% on where he stands with his views politically and religiously, she doesn't know how to respond to that without thinking, oh, like, you wouldn't like the past version of me, or like, I kind of feel like you're shaming me, because she did mention that. And he's like, no, I'm not shaming you. I'm just saying, like, your past is your past as long as it stays in your past. And for me, sometimes I just feel like people don't understand that, one, you don't have to be with someone if you guys are not on the same page. You should never feel like you have to be a different person just to be with someone romantically. And you should never want to change a person to fit what you want them to be. And for Marissa and Ramses, I'm just trying to figure out how is this going to work, because I don't know, with Marissa, it's really confusing. Like, she's so like gung-ho on her liberal views, but like at the same time, she's like not super gung-ho. So I'm just like, why do you keep bringing up these hypothetical situations of you possibly doing this and possibly doing that if you know you're not going to do that? Like, it shouldn't be a problem. We shouldn't be going back and forth about this type of thing. Like, if you want to talk about your past and all those things in the military, that's fine. But as long as you're not doing it actively now in your future, your potential future with Ramses, I don't see where the problem is. If anything, I think Ramses is doing a good job at communicating what he expects from his partner. And the only thing I can say is that if this is truly a bother for Marissa, and for whatever reason she is thinking about going to the Army Reserves or back into the military doing whatever she was doing, then she should consider that there is a huge possibility that Ramses is not gonna be with her. And that's okay. Find someone that wants to be with you for you, and you guys align on all of the same major things. So far, that's all of my thoughts for episode 7. Comment down below what you think about the situation with Ramses and Marissa, because that was really like the main focal point of episode 7. It ended with like a huge cliffhanger with them looking like, oh, so angry and everything like that. But I'm sure they're gonna be fine in the next episode. And if you made it this far in the video, please do me a huge favor and make sure you like and comment if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more content from me, and make sure you subscribe and hit the post notification bell, and stay tuned for my review that's coming up for episode 8 and episode 9. And bonus, if you really enjoy long form content, I will be putting all 3 of these reviews together so you can just watch them all at once if that's what you're into. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all.